Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman. Our next guest is Michael Jacobson, CEO of French Florist. Welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs.
Thanks, Jonathan. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about French Florist, what it is that you guys do. I mean, the name is probably self-evident, but I'm sure there's some differentiation that you offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's funny. Americans in particular have this romantic ideal of European and specifically French way of living, and so we do quite well with the folks here in the United States. We are a U.S. based brand, and I came into the industry. I think a lot of the ways that florists or people in the space do, we kind of fell into it, not necessarily accidentally, but if you asked us, 10 or 15 years ago if we'd be here, we would have said, I don't know. So I got a call. I was working actually in consulting right out of college, and I got a call from my uncle. My uncle owned a flower shop called French Florist. He had been running it for almost 40 years. And he said, Mike, it's time. I want to sell the business. I'm tired, and I'm not making any money. I'm working really hard, and it's time. And it was his baby, 40 years of doing something. It's pretty crazy. And so
A lot of
my back,
investment,
yeah, to say the least.
emotional and financial and all of the above.
Yeah, and it's really about our most finite resource, time, right? Like that's really a sense of, who we are is how we spend our time, and 40 years doing something, it's yeah, not to be understated. So, he called me and his family, I'm happy to help him and background and kind of an intersection between technology, software development and finance. How can we make operations more efficient financially, increase the bottom line in a lot of cases using software and technology. And so I suppose he wanted to tap into the finance part of that. And so I said, sure, I'm happy to help. And so I was in Seattle at the time. I came down to Los Angeles where the flower shop was based, right off of Melrose in Los Angeles. And he, was clearly a super passionate, super creative guy. Um, Florists, I've learned, are just good people, but they're not necessarily the strongest business folks. They don't know the difference between a profit and loss and a balance sheet. Obviously, there's exceptions, but a lot of folks, especially the ones that have been doing it for decades and decades, don't have that knowledge.
Michael, was it a traditional flower shop that one might think about, on a storefront? A lot of retail customers, some commercial accounts, mostly local delivery. I don't know if
Yeah,
FTD is sort of the model. They may get orders from abroad, but it comes in through a centralized, so sort of that traditional, what one would think of neighborhood florist.
100%. Yep. Walk to your local mom and pop shop. It looks pretty antiquated. There's papers flying around everywhere. There's Teleflora, FTD posters hanging out. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. So spot on. So, kind of to accelerate the story a little bit, I came in and did my regular due diligence on the entire floral industry, kind of, or at least the local landscape, what other flower shops are for sale, what multiples are they commanding, what are florists doing well, what are they not doing well. And it really, truly blew my mind how antiquated the industry really is. And kind of, you and me can go down to our local flower shop and we can see that. But really, when you sink your teeth into it, it's more antiquated even than what meets the eye. And so that's where I saw a really nice opportunity. It wasn't necessarily this one shop that was a great brand, had a great team, wonderful culture, good product offerings, happy customers, but they're working really hard and not making any money. And they were doing that for a lot of different reasons. The lack of technology in the space and how everything was so paper driven. The wire services like 1-800 Flowers and Teleflora and FTD are taking, massive, in some cases, 30 to 40%
Hmm.
commissions from orders that are being referred to them. So that's, absurd. And then, these mom and pop shops are not making a lot of money. So you're not having a lot of investment into innovation in the space. And the industry is, a measly $19 billion industry. It's a big industry, but it's not, the $1 trillion pharmaceutical industry or AI or other software or biotech companies that other outside capital likes to invest into. So you've had this really stagnant, non-innovative industry.
And another
So
good mitigating factor, I'd imagine you're dealing in perishables. So you've got a limited shelf life.
100%. Yeah, exactly. So just to throw, another wrench into the mix, 100%. And it's not like you can freeze flowers either. Like, I know there's edible arrangements out there. They make fruit bouquets, right? I don't know if they freeze their fruit or not, but You can't freeze flowers, that's for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
So it makes
Not
it
if you want, not if you want to sell fresh flowers. Not if you want them to live.
about them alive. Yeah, probably not. But, yeah. So, my uncle gave me a little bit of funny a look when I asked him, but I said, "Hey, like Steve, I'll take over this business. I see a lot of potential to take my background in building technology and running businesses a little bit more efficiently, and really wanted to take that leap into entrepreneurship. I think that there's this romantic idea that people have that they want to start a business from scratch, and I think that I'd always wanted to do that, but it was really also understated that I could come into an existing business that had good bones, but it was struggling under the current ways of operating, and I could infuse a little bit of new way of thinking. I thought it would go a long way. It's called me a little bit naive at the time, and I still certainly have a little bit of that, but turns out that that wasn't too far off from what the company needed. So we set out, we just bootstrapped the company. I was kind of still living a college-ish, post-college lifestyle. I didn't need to make a lot of money. I was living pretty scrappy, was working really hard and still do. So we just reinvested pretty much every penny of profits into the business for the next 6 years, and built incredible technology, built wonderful supply chains where we can go direct to the farm now. We invested a lot into all the technical and digital side of things like search engine optimization, paid advertising, conversion rate optimization, all of the kind of the boring things that make the business tick. And we started to see profound results. We became the number one florist in Los Angeles. Just to kind of give you a sense, the average flower shop does about $350,000 in revenue per year in the United States. That's sometimes after 10 or 15 years of operating. Our Los Angeles store itself, out of one 3,000 square foot footprint, will do north of 10 million in revenue in this one year in
Wow.
2024.
That's a lot of
So
turns.
a lot of turns, yeah, it is. And so, through our journey, we're an open book. French Florist is really an open book to. Our mission has turned into we want to help other florists achieve more and give them their time back. Again, back to the time being our most finite resource. I think so. We have set out on this mission to help other florists, and we've in 2024 recently we've launched what we call our conversion franchising division. And so we'll partner with an existing flower shop. We're opening up in new markets, and we've never launched a flower shop that's done less than $900,000 in the first year. Our most recent shop is in its second year. That's corporate owned, and it's on track to do over 1.7 million in its second year. So we've gotten really good at operating these businesses, and other flower
Wonderful.
shops are amazing. They have a creative passion, like it's everything that we need to partner with them, but we can come in and really help them with again, the boring stuff. And so there's a very, really meaningful partnership where we've already signed a few florists that are onboarding onto our system right now and excited to see the results that they're able to produce. And then they'll be our case study. So we'll partner with other florists down the line. They can join the French Florist family. We'll give them the tech, we'll give them the supply chain, we'll give them the marketing, pretty much everything. And the goal is nothing short of becoming the number one flower shop in their city. It's an exclusive partnership, and we really want to, you know, elevate the consumer experience, but the local florist is the way to do that. And we don't need to come in and build, 300 corporate stores across America. We'd rather partner with the existing wonderful, beautiful infrastructure that currently exists and just help take it to the next level. So a little bit about what we're doing.
So it's really interesting. Obviously there's a lot of complexity behind the secret sauce and what the various pieces are, but it sounds to me as though from a demand perspective, it's there. The question is being able to harness that demand and to channel it towards the particular location slash business. Is
Yeah,
that a big part of it? Because,
precisely.
to have that kind of exponential growth that you've had, it says that the marketplace is there. It's just a function of figuring out how to direct it towards you. And so a lot of it comes down to what you call the back end boring stuff, which is conversion, eyeballs, conversion, purchases, things of that nature.
Yeah, exactly. And more people are searching online. I think it was probably close to 10 years from now where we crossed the golden threshold, right? Where more people are searching not online than in physical. That happened a long time ago, but more people are searching on mobile than they are desktop. And so you have to be mobile optimized. We have a crazy landscape right now where we have ChatGPT, we have TikTok, and they're emerging search engines. I know I'm using ChatGPT more and more as just a basic search engine instead of Google. So
Mm.
Google has the lion's share, but what does life after Google look like? And so we would need to make sure that, we harness where customers are looking right now. The predominant place that folks look are Google. They search flower delivery near me or florist near me, florist, Santa Monica or New York or wherever city they're looking at, and whoever shows up number one, that's a pretty important spot to be. So it's a really important thing to get that, but also just continuing to stay ahead of the trends and invest in the emerging search engines and anything innovative that's on the horizon. We're very keen to continue investing in that way.
Now, how much of the marketplace, well, the general florist marketplace is consumer versus commercial, because I know that there's sort of both of those are sort of the perhaps the I mean, and maybe I'm mistaken, but those are sort of the two big buckets, right? If you break it out that way. So from an industry perspective, how does that weigh? Because my follow-up question, I guess I'll ask it right now, is consumer trends seem to be driven largely by events, holidays, birthdays, things of that nature, perhaps funerals, weddings, all those types of things, versus what I think of as commercial is, that hotel lobby that needs or restaurant that needs a fresh bouquet every week or every 3 days or whatever that is. So how does that split happen at the mom and pop shops? Is it commercial versus consumer?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. Yeah, the intuition on that is spot on. Really, there's kind of event-based florists and kind of daily um, based florists. So happy birthday, happy anniversary kind of daily deliveries. Usually florists lean one way or the other more so. A lot of times you'll have florists that do both. Also I'll share a secret. We probably say no to more events than we say yes to because we specialize in dailies. And the reason that we do that is it's a lot more predictable and it's a lot more smooth of a business, where we can do happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, sympathy, I'm sorry. These are occasions that happen every single day. And so we don't have the peaks and troughs that a lot of other florist businesses might. Yes, Valentine's Day is huge. Yes, Mother's Day is huge. Thanksgiving and some of the other holidays are great holidays for us. But we really like the predictable, smooth, we want recurring revenue year round. So we do some corporate accounts. We have a lot of consumer subscriptions as well. But it's a lot, I don't want to say easier. Nothing's quite easy in life that's worthwhile, actually, but I do think it's easier than running an events-based florist. It's less overhead. You need to maintain less inventory. Again, it's more predictable. You can hire staff in a more scalable way. So that's what our bread and butter is. That's really what we focus on. But there's no right or wrong.
Interesting.
A lot of florists that do
Well,
events.
and it also sounds to me because you're so on top of the metrics that you can predict your demand more so than that. One might argue that event-based, well, we only buy what we need for an event, but by the same token, it must make it difficult from a supplies perspective to be able to say, well, in October when weddings are big, we're going to buy $400,000 of flowers, but in March we're buying $300 because we don't have any business, whatever that is, versus you guys, which is predictable and the turns are probably more consistent and leads to probably fresher product, etc., all those types of things. So,
Yeah.
Michael,
Okay.
wonderful story. Wish you, congratulations on the success you've had, and must feel to you about 6 long years, but 6 short years.
Yeah.
Wonderful turnaround situation and scale. If people want to learn more, if there's florists out there that want to join the French florist family, what's the best way for them to do that, to reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to the next 6 years as well. I think they'll happen faster than the prior six. The best way to get in contact with us, you can email me personally at any time at michael@frenchflorist.com, but also go to the website frenchfloristfranchise.com, and there's a lot of great information there. You can fill out a form. We'll mail you a book, and you get to know a lot about the program.
Excellent. Our guest has been Michael Jacobson, CEO of French Florist. It's been a pleasure having you on Radio Entrepreneurs.